Hello, it's Radoslav Chomik, and this is my demo of my client-server connection. Here we have code for client, and this is code for servers, multi-threaded servers. I separate them using NetBeans and Eclipse just to clearly present what is going on. So if I start first server, as you can see, all the ports are open at the beginning of the program. Then the server start to listening. If we print status, we get information that there is no connection on the ports, and straight away we have file saved. For purpose of that project, I saved that on the F drive in the folder temp programming text. The file name is current date. So now we start the client. And we can choose from two options. One is auto connection and one is manual. We start with auto connection. We can have up to 1,000 connections, but we can easily just change that number to increase that number. So if we start, for example, 500 connections, program just run through 500 times, and here we go. Now we can print status again to check the connections, so we get 100 connections on each port. And here we have the file. As you can see, each iteration is appended into the folder with current date, and here is also the time when that happened, when the connections happen. Two issues what I find in my program: when I choose the manual connection, I can pick up one of the, example one for HT, one from the 3 files. I get a response from given port, but unfortunately program just frozen. I don't know why is that. I didn't have time to find that and fix it. So in that moment program just crashed. And second thing, if I try to exit from the server, program also can't stop. I couldn't find reason of that. So that's the two main issues with my programs. Basically all programs are based on the code given in the class. So small changes is adding the menu and iterate through the number of connections chosen by user. If we choose the automatic connection, here is the number. We can just increase to have more connections. That's basically nearly all code we get in the class. When we send first a request for the port to the server, and we get a response. If that response is not -1, then we close sockets, close buffer and print writer, and we open another socket with new buffer reader and print writer to connect with the server on the given port. I add just class myScanner, which is basically my library. I built that library starting on the first semester of the first year. But one function I use in this program is just to validate the integer, the input from the user when he chooses the automatic connection. If that number isn't too big or is in the range, or if it's not in integer, we get the error information, and chance to type in that number again. About servers, also I add the user interface, does the printing status on the screen, and also saving into the saving into the file. Basically, it's not saving it, that return the string builder string, and then when we call that print function on the screen, we automatically also use a file utility, which is also my library, and then in that library, come on, there is just few functions which I use to create folder, check if that folder is existing or not. If not, it's create that folder. Then we get the timestamp for the file name. We get that's just, and the timestamp for with just the time. The ones return that date, that return just time, and then we have save into the folder, which is just basic file buffer printer. Here we have those loops which just first add ports, given ports to the server, to the array list, and then using that array list we just iterate through and start each of the secondary servers as a thread. Then we start main server, also as a thread, which just basically open the port for listening, and it contains also that array list with the secondary servers. Then when the connections come with the port request, the main server just open that port, check if that connection is running already or not. If not, it's connect the connection between the client and new port, and also send that port number to the client to allow him connect. Basically, that's most of my code. Main server uses the handle connection class, in which we create, in that class we create the real connection between client and the secondary server. So as you can see, if we get the request through the buffer reader, if we get a request for the port, we either send port number or -1 depending on the request message. Then we close that socket, close input and output, after all connection between client and secondary server is done. Basically, that's all my code. Thank you and bye.